Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is FPL Elmo. So I'm going to be going through my double game 33 team selection within my double game 32 team review and some transfer thoughts for game 33 as well. But before we get into that, I'd like to thank you all guys for the continued support on the channel. We recently managed to hit 740 subscribers, 60 away from 800. So if you're new around here, or if you've been watching the videos and you wanted to subscribe, make sure you hit that sub button. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, share, and hit that bell to miss any content going up on the channel as I post both long videos and short videos. Not wasting any much time, let's get straight into it. So first, I'm going to start off with my game 32 team review, where I managed to score 79 points and taking my overall points to 2175, and a small red arrow of about 4,000 from 40k to 44,000. I think it was very good game for me, even though I got a red arrow because Isaac did not perform. So I'll take a 4k red arrow and hope that when I use my triple captain, I can be able to gain more points compared to the other people. So we had Martinez in goal for 6 points, clean sheet against Southampton. Munoz in a double game, he managed to pick up a -1 somehow, which was very interesting. Livramento with a clean sheet in the second game for 8 points. Saliba conceding for 2 points. Jacob Murphy with an assist and in the first game, and I think 2 goals in the second game. So for 19 points for him, Saka did not start for once again. For 1 point, it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to start in a double game 33. But I think we don't have another fixture coming up midweek, so I think he might start. We'll have to wait and see. Then you have Salah got an assist for 6 points. Sar, I think, got an assist, but for 7 points in two games. Then Mamouche scored a goal for 7 points. Isaac managed to only get an assist and a goal for 22 points. Very disappointing for the people who triple captained him. And yeah, so I'm very grateful for that. For no haul from Isaac. Then you had Mateta with 2 points. I don't think he got to 60 minutes in any of the two games for 2 points for him. Raya 2 points. Then on the bench, of course, Roger the Troll with another 6 points. Guardiol conceding for 1 point, and Konza with a clean sheet for 1 point. We all thought that Aston Villa are going to rotate, and in my personal opinion, I think they should have rotated because they looked a little bit tired in that PSG game towards the end. So yeah, but it is what it is. That's my game with 32, 79 points. Over game 33, can be able to smash the 100 points. And yeah, so now let's look at what game 33 has in store for us. So first, we're going to start off with my transfer thoughts for game 33. The first transfer I'm thinking of doing is to move Livramento to Ryan Sessegnon, and I'm going to explain it in my next transfer. But the reason I'm going for this transfer is I'm thinking of bringing a Man City midfielder, and down the line, maybe before the deadline, I may change it to bring in a Man City defender as opposed to a Man City midfielder because the defenders look to be more consistent compared to the midfielders. But Savio is a very interesting pick. We have Kusanov as well. We have O'Reilly, who I'm not sure he's listed as a defender in FPL, but we have him. We still have Rico Lewis, who might play. There's a lot of options in there, but I'm going for the more attacking option in this video, but it might change before the deadline. So we have Livramento to rank. Then I've gone for Sessegnon. He scored, I think, 2 goals in his last 3 games. He's playing as a right winger instead of a right back or a left back, and he's been chipping in with some goals, some assists. Of course, not his best game against Bournemouth, but with Chelsea, Chelsea are conceding goals. They just lost today to, I think, a Polish side by conceding 2 goals. So that's why I'm very optimistic about this one, and I hope the season is going to start against Chelsea. So this is one transfer I'm thinking about. So now let's look at my second transfer. So the other transfer I'm thinking of doing is from going from Jacob Murphy to Savinho. I know this is why there's a conversation between it's they're doing just a straight swap from Livramento to a Man City defender, or just do this so they can be able to have a Man City midfielder in there. And Murphy has been in form, as you can see, 10.0 form. He's been flying this season. So I think he's got 10 assists, 10 goals, something like that, something outrageous. So there's that transfer I'm thinking about just to be able to get that double game week. And the Newcastle fixtures are turning a little bit to becoming a little bit problematic apart from the Ipswich game, which I think maybe I'm going to be using my free hit in game 34. So there's no problem for Jacob Murphy then. But see from game 35, that 6, that 7 have really, really tough fixtures. So I'm not, I don't think it's an issue for me to move on from Jacob Murphy and go to someone like Savinio, which is something I'm thinking about just for that double game week. Although he hasn't started back-to-back games, which is a little bit concerning. If I had a fan that not going to KDB, but it's not going to be a realistic transfer at the moment. So this is the second transfer I'm thinking about. Let me know in the comments what you think about this transfer. So these transfers in mind, let's look at how I'm going to be lining up for double game week 33. So first, we're going to start off with the defenders and the goalkeeping department. We're going to be having Martinez in there against Newcastle and Man City. Although he did look shaky in the PSG game, he didn't manage to keep a clean sheet against Southampton. So for the double game week, always a tough double game week. Newcastle are high flying. Man City are not looking very good. So you never know what might happen. But I'll take a save point, maybe a saved penalty as well. We very much appreciate it. And we're going to be having Munoz against Bournemouth and Arsenal. They had a terrible double game with 32. And to be fair, I think Crystal Palace also had a terrible back-to-back fixtures, conceding 10 goals in 2 matches back-to-back. I think very disappointing, but hey, it's a double game week, and you have to have the double game week players in there. Help can be able to perform. Then you have Saliba against Ipswich and Crystal Palace. They just had a game of their lives against Real Madrid, so I'm sure they're going to be buzzing. They're going to be playing Ipswich, Crystal Palace. So far, have been conceding goals for fun. Ipswich have been conceding goals for fun. Well, with scoring a lot, especially Ipswich, so maybe a clean sheet there and maybe a corner goal to go a long way. Then you have Gvardiol finishing off the defensive lineup against Everton and Aston Villa. Man City haven't looked very good defensively, but I do hope that against Everton and Aston Villa they can be able to keep a clean sheet and maybe a Gvardiol goal. He hasn't scored in a while, so a goal this time will go a very long way. So that's the defense and the goalkeeping department. Now let's look at the midfield. So now we can move on to the midfield. We're going to be having Rogers against Newcastle and Man City. They've had he hasn't had a rest in a very long time, but since they're out of the Champions League, I think he's going to continue playing. Not a very good set of fixtures there, but Rogers has been high scoring. He's been having fun. He's been very good this season. So I expect a return in those one of those fixtures, and maybe both of those fixtures because he's been very good. Then you have Saka against FC Crystal Palace. We don't know how many games he's going to start. Maybe going to a little bit of rest as they prepare for the semi-finals against PSG. But he did score against Real Madrid in the second leg at the Bernabeu. So and he did play, I think, the full 90, if I'm not wrong. So I think he's now up to match fitness, and I don't have another game with midweek. Maybe he might come off the bench, but it's going to be Ipswich. So I'm sure he's going to fancy himself. And maybe Crystal Palace, he gets the full 90 and I hope that's what's going to happen. Then you have Savio against Everton and Aston Villa, and as I mentioned earlier, Savio has missed 2 games in a row, so the only hope here is that he's going to be able to play the next 2 games in a row as part of the Pep Roulette, as all the FPL people know it. So I'm hope for a clean sheet. I mean, not a hope for an attacking return in any of the fixtures will go a very long way as they push for top five, those Champions League spots. Then you have Sa finishing off the team. Not been looking very sharp, I think, but I think he did outscore Eze in double game with the two since Eze missed a penalty. I think Sa did manage to overtake him there. So I think the Sa owners have a upper hand at the moment over the Eze owners, and for of course a lot more cheaper than Eze. So I hope for Bournemouth and Arsenal can be able to return the favor and get more attacking returns as well. That's the midfield. So now let's look at the forward line and the bench as well. So this is going to be the forward line. Going to be having Mateta in there. I don't know what has happened with Mateta and Glasner. Mateta never tends to finish a match, so I don't know what's happened there. He's been subbed off in the first half against Man City. and against Newcastle again at the 56th minute. I don't know what's happening between the two of them, but I hope we can be able to play both fixtures, and maybe 90 minutes against Bournemouth and Arsenal will be very much appreciated. A goal this time will go a very long way. Then you have Isaac there with a single game week against Aston Villa. I don't see the point of selling Isaac. If I sold him, I could bid for -4 and go super differential with I don't even know, with like Gakpo or something, since they play Leicester. But for now, I'm going to go with Isaac in there and hope he'll be able to perform. Then we have Mamouche against Everton Aston Villa. He's going to be my captain, but it's a flippy 50-50 flip between Mamouche and Saka. The only problem with Saka, we don't know whether he's going to play or not. I think you can also argue the same case for Mamouche, with it at the end of the day being a Pep team. Anything can happen with Pep. So yeah, so I don't think any of them is guaranteed to start. But for now, my captaincy is going to be on Mamouche, but it might be Saka there. We have to wait and see. If you want to see my final team, I post them on my socials. The links are down in the description. Then you can go on to the bench. We'll be having Raya with a double game week, of course, against Ipswich Crystal Palace. Very unlucky to concede against Real Madrid. She could have gone to back-to-back matches against Real Madrid. They play Ipswich and Crystal Palace. They struggle to keep clean sheets in the Premier League, so I'm not too much optimistic. But all you can do is hope. They have Konza against Newcastle. Man City did score in the Champions League, so it'll be very good if you're able to score in the Premier League, accompanied with the clean sheet that they do manage to keep. Again, we have Sessegnon in there against Chelsea. Yeah, I didn't really said about that one. The better, that's a differential pick for me to be able to be to afford Savio. Then you have Salah finishing off the team on the bench, and of course, to me, the bench is relevant because I'm going to be using my bench boost. So every player is going to be playing, all 15 players. I think 12 with double game weeks and 3 with single game weeks. So I think that's a very nice balance of a team. Everyone's going to be able to perform. So this is a very long video, so I'm going to finish it there. If you have managed to reach this far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all guys later. Bye bye.